Hey guys, Cal the Death Knight of Anime here, and I'm bringing you my review for My Hero Academia Season 2, Episode 21. And right off the bat, I want to say, for anyone who doesn't know yet, for these last 5 episodes of My Hero Academia that we're getting, they're basically covering the final term test arc. And when I heard that, I was in a constant flux of wondering how the pacing would go while watching this episode. I mean, I was also reading the manga, to be honest with you. I was also reading the manga to the corresponding chapters of this episode that it adapted, which is chapters 60 and part of 61. And and how it adapted it and what it adapted. And honestly, I'm happy to say that not only did Bones once again do an amazing job adapting the material, but it did one better. What it actually sprinkled little scenes here and there throughout the episode that I felt that added a little more context to the story and characters. Like, for instance, the staff meeting at UA. Well, that was still in the manga, of course. There was actually an added touch of mentioning how they're doing it specifically, how they're doing the student versus teacher thing specifically as a means as a means to prepare from another hero killer scenario. Like, I think that added bit is important because it just shows how important of an impact the hero killer left on the hero community. Because let's face it, Stain, he was one of the major. He was everyone's favorite, I guess, anti-hero or vigilante. He's everyone's favorite anti-hero and vigilante in this series, only because of how much of an impact he left on the impact he left after he was defeated. So, yeah, just adding that one little touch to I guess to pretty much a manga scene that was added into the anime, that was put in the anime, is kind of a nice touch, I guess. Um, another another thing is that the anime approaches, like in the manga, all the all the all the attest all the testing was going on simultaneously, but in the anime it actually happened one at a time, which is actually nice because it does a little development towards Izuku and Ochiko, not necessarily their relationship, but to I guess how they themselves are dealing with, how they themselves are going to deal with their tests. Because in this episode we get an added scene of Izuku and Ochiko watching the others do their testing and talking to Recovery Girl about the practical exams, which of course brings into play a problem that they themselves are facing with, which is how well they're going to work with their partners. I mean, let's face facts here, people. On top of Ochiko's problem of dealing with, I think it's Ayama, because that guy's just basically a self-centered asshole. Because just a self-centered pretty boy. I mean, Ochiko's gonna have enough problems dealing with that fact alone. But let's say facts from the very beginning of the series. Bakugou and Izuku have had issues with each other, and this is the perfect time in order to bite that in the bud. So, but yeah, just Izuku, you can see Izuku himself is dealing with these issues, and he's like, okay, I'm paired up with Bakugou. How well can I even work with him when he won't even work with me? That's like a constant flux of flux that's probably going through Izuku's mind right now. Like, how can he make his team up with Bakugou work? Because right now it's not seeming like that. And yeah, I'm not sure how Izuku's gonna make that work, especially since since apparently their teacher is all since apparently their tester is All Might. So yeah, but yeah, it's they already need to come up with. I hope. So yeah, Izuku already realizes that in order to fight against someone like All Might, they do they need to work together. But yeah, I don't know if Bakugo's gonna be just self-centered and want to face Izuku. Well, Izuku alone. He's gonna want to face All Might alone. And I won't spoil anything, but let's just say for anime only watchers, let's just say you are going to get a very interesting look into Bakugo's mentality and his backstory. Like, we're gonna get a backstory of Bakugo here, a full-on backstory of Bakugo and how, like, what he is came to be. And let's just say it's pretty interesting. It's almost like one of those interesting parallels with Izuku, honestly. But I've said too much already. And another edit scene, sorry, I really liked was that is that in the beginning of in the manga, in the beginning of like the practical test, the tests being the test factor being the final test being introduced. It was just kind of introduced, and then with everyone with everyone, and then a shot afterwards of her, I guess cheering and whatnot, and but in this one it has Aizawa actually providing the setup for the exam in the beginning, whereas in the manga it just kind of jumped right into it. So I do like that small little tidbit, and yeah, like I said. One thing I learned, like I said before, what I learned from this episode is one main thing I learned from this episode is that the teachers are a bunch of schemers with good intentions because, like I said, during the meeting they were going through the reasons for the combat pairings and why the teachers were picked in order to test who. And like I said, in All Might's case, it's completely understandable as to why All Might would be chosen in order to test Bakugou and Izuku because, yeah, like I said before. It's an opportunity. Of course, it is an opportunity for Izuku and Bakugo to actually, in order to work out their issues, like I had said before, and maybe hopefully get them on some kind of understanding level of teamwork. Hopefully, but more than that, there is one other thing that can definitely work. That Izuku can work out to his that that All Might can work to his advantage, which is an opportunity in order to very subtly train. If he's very subtle about it, not giving too much away, he can also very subtly train Izuku. I mean, Izuku has come a long way, especially since his whole internship with I think it was Gran Torino, and but yeah, it was. With his whole internship with Gran Torino, but he still has a long way to go in order to be the next Simple Piece, and this is basically just another step for Izuku in order to train in how to use One for All. So it should be interesting to see how all of that plays out. Now, actually, one other scene I do like. Actually, I forgot to mention this scene. Is that one other scene that was added that I do like is that there was a scene of Eijiro and I think it was Ricardo being shown how they failed their exams. Apparently, it was against Cementos, and I do like that was being shown because it was kind of one of those things where it just kind of, I mean, I guess it was to save on the panel space in the manga, but it was one of the things that was just kind of said and not really shown. And sometimes I guess it is okay to have that moment to have those moments where something isn't really being shown, but in this case, it is okay to kind of show. It is okay every once in a while to kind of show something like that because I don't mind being shown that how a student has failed an exam, so to speak. Oh, how a student has failed an exam, so to speak. But yeah, it was nice to see Ichido and Ricardo and how it is that they ended up failing their test. So yeah, it's good in that sense. Now, like I said, I read chapters 60 and 61 which were the corresponding manga chapters in this episode, and like I said, the pacing was fantastic. But Guys, don't go to the My Hero Academia Wikipedia page in order to get that info, because I made that mistake, and while I'm technically wrong, in terms of Chapter 61, um, the episode actually ended at page 16 of Chapter 61. It didn't. Well, as far as what the Wikipedia page says, it says it adapted 60 and 61 entirely, pretty much, is what they're saying. But yeah, it only adapted up to page 16 of Chapter 61. No reason to really say it, just a little cliff note there. Um, and one other small thing to say is, if there's any person I wouldn't mind getting killed by like they're doing these whole tests in order to prevent the students from being killed or whatnot in a future hero killer scenario. But if there's one person I wouldn't mind getting killed, and I know that's, call me an asshole for that, but it is Monoma. If there's one person I wouldn't mind getting killed by Sting or any other villain, it's Monoma. Like, seriously, like 99% of the time this guy's on screen, I'm like, why did a cool quirk have to be attached to such a douche? Like, thank God I think it was Kendo. Like, Kendo is there to slap him around when he is acting like an ass, but because the only time I really laugh at this guy is when he's getting slapped around. That's really this guy's only purpose. But yeah, I'm not gonna go on a rant or anything. I've already ranted about this guy enough. But seriously, it's like getting to a point where I'm wondering, why did Horikoshi create this guy? I'm trying to fathom my mind why. Is it just for the comic relief? Because hey, if you want a comic relief, we already got them with the little pervy troll of Mineta. So yeah, you don't need this asshole. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, or follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Death Knight Anime, signing off. Later, guys.